Welcome to my channel, Crafting with Holly. I'm so glad you're here. Are you ready to get some ideas and tips for coloring? I first want to do a disclaimer. I am not an artist by any stretch of the imagination, but one thing that I have done is I have tried and practiced a lot with coloring and using these amazing TriBlend markers. And so I just want to share some tips with you that I've learned along the way when I've colored. So we're going to go ahead and get started and actually work our way across this page and then finish up with these two images right here, the compass and that fleur-de-lis. I think that's what you call it. So we're going to start right here with the tent, and the colors that I'm using for that are the gold yellow blend, the muted brown, and I have got some gold brown shades too that I think I'm going to accent around, and that's what I did around the actual frame of the tent. And the gold yellow blend I used on the top, and then the muted brown I used on the kind of canvas of the tent. And then for the backpack, I used the vintage blue blend, and I used the gold brown shades and also the muted brown. And I will put all of this down in the comments below so that you can have that for reference. So I always start with the light shade, and I also start kind of in a circular motion, just going around and just doing my best to have a steady hand and go right up to the edge of the black without actually going over it. And that circular motion just really helps to fill in that color so evenly, just like that. And then I'm going to go overhead to this side of the canvas and do the same thing. Again, just using those circular motions. And honestly, my best advice is to practice. Just practice, practice, practice. Get out paper, stamp on it. Use then the intense black ink because it's the best ink that we make for coloring, because it's perfect for these type of mediums. And so for this one, I used the medium color first, and then I accented with the deep or the dark shade. And I tend to take a deep breath when I'm coloring, especially when I'm trying to fill in these little tiny narrow lines. And that helps my hand to be steady. And that's just a personal tip that I've learned along the way when I color. I would love your tips down below. If you could comment and just share with me what are your personal tips for coloring and using these TriBlend markers. I would love to learn from you. And then if you ever get the color where you don't want it, you can use these fabulous blending pens, and they pretty much erase what you're doing. And then you can always go onto a scratch piece of paper and just kind of wipe that out and rub it out. Not always necessary, but someone had just asked me that question, and I wanted to make sure that I answered that today when I was recording. So now I'm using the deep color, and you're going to notice when it dries, and you can definitely tell a distinct difference between these two colors. So I'm just going back over here ever so steadily, if that's even a word. And then I'm going to go inside. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to come over here and do this part of the window and then this part of the door, just like that. And then I want to go back inside the tent right here and color that piece just like so. And then I want to go on the inside again, whoops, with the muted brown. And I want to color this inside, just like that. And I believe what I also did is I went back over this with the medium shade because it wasn't dark enough. But I want you to see the difference between these two. So now I'm going with the medium, and I'm just going around the inside because I want you to see the difference in color when you just outline. And again, like I said, I am not perfect at this, but I do a lot of practicing, as you can tell from all of the different projects that I do. And then I am going to actually fill this in because you can see what a difference those two hues are. The light is pretty light, and I think I want that depth with the medium shade. But it really does a nice job filling in all of those colors, wouldn't you say? And then I'm just coming over here. But I am going to keep the inside of my tent lighter because I like that contrast. And this is always a work in progress, right? So now I'm using the gold yellow blend in the light, and I wanted the top of my tent to be a different color and stand out. I haven't tent camped in a long time, but I do remember the top of our tent being a different color. And then again, I'm going to take the medium and just go over that. It just does a nice job filling in that color. And looking a little bit deeper. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up to camera so that you can see that. And now I'm going to color in my backpack, and again we're using the vintage blue blend, and this is the light shade, and I'm going to color in the majority of the backpack with this color. And I really found that you don't need to press very hard at all to release color. In fact, the lighter your touch is, the better, because it does bleed. That alcohol spreads out as you're coloring. And then I just wanted a little bit of that color down there too. And then I took the, I believe it was the gold brown shade, because I like that darker color. So I'm gonna just accent here, like on the straps, where the water bottle is. And then I came in here and I colored all of this area. I'm being really careful to not color the sunglasses because I want to use the vintage blue in a darker color to make that kind of stand out. So I'm just trying to be real careful. And then I want the top of the water bottle to be that same color. And then I'm going to come in with the muted brown. Whoops, that's the dark one. Let's not use dark. I'm going to color the top of my water bottle and the side. And then I'm going to take the vintage blue in the medium, and that's the color that I want the sunglasses to be. And they're going to kind of stand out a little bit more. Look at how great that looks. Now we are moving on to the marshmallows, and I used the gray brown blend, and we're going to use the light first to do the marshmallows. And I'm just outlining the marshmallows, and then I used the medium tone up here at the top of the marshmallow and just along the sides, just to create some depth. And then I'm very carefully trying to color in the sticks, my roasting sticks. And then I also used the gold brown shades in the medium to color in the bottom handle part of the stick. And then you can always go back where these lines are, which I did, and I took the dark or the deep color and I just went over those lines just to create some depth. just like so. I love this marshmallow. You can use this for so many other things too. Okay, this is really fun to do the logs. I started out with the muted brown first. And then I went back over it with the gold brown shades in the medium. So I outlined it first in medium, just like that. And I love layering color because it really helps to change it and create the look, the finished look that you're trying to go for. So then I filled it in with the light shade because I liked what the muted brown did. And then I went over with the deep shade and I'm just accenting just slightly, just to create some depth, but not a ton, okay? Because I still want you to see the multi-layers of color. And then to do the flames, this was really fun. So I'm using the light shade of the gold, and I am doing that first. And with this one, I actually did come out of the lines a little bit because I wanted that flame to really be big and bright. So again, I'm just using a circular motion. And then from there, I took the medium shade and started accenting with that. Okay, and I'm going right over these lines, the big outlines, with the medium. Okay, and then I took the deep and I just went on these more kind of squiggly lines that are kind of curved but aren't as thick, I guess is the best way to describe it. They're the ones that are on the inside of the image. And then I wanted to create this beautiful hue of red, like a flame, and I took the coral shades and I used the light shade. And I came down here and I kind of went in like a circular motion, and then I kind of feathered it up a little bit just to create the fire. And then I blended it. Believe it or not, I went back to the gold yellow blend, and this is the magic. Like, you can start blending color on top of color and it will soften this and blend it out. And it is incredible how it's almost erasing some of that red, but it is creating that color and that depth that I wanted, and softness. Look at how pretty that is. So fun what you can do with layering with colors. Okay, so now I'm gonna move over. I'm gonna set these off to the side. I'm gonna swap out these pages so that we can bring these two down here. And let's do the compass first. And you know what, let me see if I can get this so that you guys can see this. Let's get the compass up here and our little fleur-de-lis right there. So for the compass, I used the gray, the brown-gray blend, and I used light first out here. And again, like I said, I'm going in a little circular motion. And then to do the outline of this, I came right in here on this circle and I'm using the medium. And again, I'm trying to be really careful not to shake, which is sometimes hard. And then the inside You can actually use either the medium or the dark. I'm going to use the dark this time. So I think I like that contrast. And then we're going to use the gold yellow blend. We're going to go on the inside right here. And then I'm going to take the medium and very carefully just accent that triangle, just like that. And then for the bottom, we're going to use the coral shades. And this is really dark, so you just want to just feathery strokes to get that color. That is perfect. And then I also used this over here in the corners. And you can see I'm just dotting color. I'm not trying to press too hard, so I don't want it to bleed out where I don't want color to be. And that is pretty cool. And then our last one is this fleur-de-lis, and again I layered color with it. I started with the muted brown, and I colored the whole thing in muted brown. And then I wanted to layer color, and I will do that in just a second. Okay, then I started layering color with the gold brown shade. No, not gold brown, sorry. It was the gold yellow blend. And I'm just pushing color up, just like this. And just kind of taking it where I want it to go, which is mainly just in the center. And then again, I'm just pulling color up, pulling color out, pulling it down, and then coming over here and just making that a little bit darker. And then one last layer, real soft. And you can go back again over this with the muted brown, just to kind of blend those colors together. Isn't that the coolest thing? I just think this is such a fun tip and just a great way to play with color and add more color. And there you go. We have colored all of these images. Do not forget to go back and look at the other video that I did, and I will link it in the comments below, and I will label it for you. And it is Thin Cuts 2 Ways. It teaches you how I cut these out and how I stamped them. And there's really 2 ways to do it. So make sure you check that out. And then also don't forget to look at the assembly video of this, where I actually walk you through how to do the inking, how to do the splattering, and how to do the title page on here. Remember, if you haven't already, click that like button. Leave a comment down below for me, and also subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to share my next video.